Like 7, Resident Evil 8 doesn't go Resident Evil when you press new game, so it's already sitting at a 0.5 out of 10. But will that score go up? Dunno mate, I don't do scores, but I can say Resident Evil 8 is a good game. I think I just prefer Resi 7's more tighter focus. So the game begins with Ethan and his wife living together in Europe with their newborn Spawn, and then Chris and the boys raid the house, kill his wife, kidnap his daughter, and Ethan as well. He then wakes up after his transport crashes in a spooky European village. Somehow the villagers have American accents weirdly, and all sorts of other nasties turn up, so it's up to Ethan to find his daughter and find out what's going on. It's intriguing for sure, and it's all voice acted very well with top drawer facial animations to boot, but there are so many stupid moments. I know it's Resident Evil and it's expected, but that doesn't mean it's not toilet. A villager happily shotguns her dad when he's turned, but 2 minutes later she sees him again and goes running to him, only to burn to death. Bint. And there is a twist in the main story regarding Ethan later on that just made me go, what? And not in a good way. People who have played it will know what I'm on about, and I won't spoil it, but it is such a stupid retcon that makes little sense. Speaking of Ethan, he's a bit more of a character this time around, expressing actual emotions, but he is still nothing on previous games' protagonists. He does take some absolute punishment in this game though. A more apt title would be Resident Evil Let's Beat the Shit Out of Ethan. Also, if you were looking forward to having Lady Dominate Me as a main villain, she's not really in the game much, you pervert. In terms of its gameplay, Village is like a blend of Resi 7 and 4. You still need to watch your ammo and health items. Sometimes it is better to run than fight, but a lot of enemies will give chase, so you better think quick. There is a good atmosphere and sense of dread through the game, wondering what's behind the next door, only to be greeted by a woman who I would definitely let sit on my face. Inventory management is back, similar to Resi 4's Attach AK system, to really get your OCD going. You also get a merchant in the game who you can sell treasures to, as well as buying resources and upgrading your weapons. He's also able to cook meals for you, which permanently increase your stats, but you have to provide him with ingredients by hunting animals, which is fine, but also, did Resident Evil really need this? Just what I want in a survival horror game, hunting mechanics. There's a basic crafting system as well, like in 7, where you can make healing items and ammo, and it works fine really. Can't think of anything else to say about it. The gunplay and combat feel a bit tighter in this entry, which makes sense since Ethan has been through some stuff and had training now. It still has that weird problem from Resi 7 where it feels like you have to wait for the enemies to finish their stagger animation before you can damage them again. A repeating problem from Resi 7 as well is the amount of times the game takes control off you. You'll be wandering around, getting absorbed into the atmosphere, and then bam, you're in a cutscene and a spooky thing goes boo. There are some new mechanics like being able to barricade entrances to buildings and enemies will trying to break in, but sometimes they get stuck, like here. And also it's not really used that much. Exploring is incentivized with many treasures and loot waiting for you, and since the game is much larger and more varied in its environments than 7, it's nice to go for a wander and discover stuff. There's also much better variety in the enemies as well, so you always have something new to be scared of. Scares wise, I wouldn't say 8 is as scary as 7. Because of the more action-based focus, you feel a bit more safe when outnumbered. But there is one absolutely terrifying section where Ethan is unarmed and being hunted by something. Again, I won't spoil it because it's one of the highlights of the game for me. And you do get lots of types of horror in the game. Body horror, jump scares, tension, so there's something there to freak everyone out. The puzzles are a mixed bag. Some are quite inventive, others are very basic, like finding a combination for a lock basic. Content-wise, Village is a pretty good deal. The main campaign is longer than Resi 7, and after finishing it, you get the Mercenaries mode, a very addictive score attack mode where you can let loose and murk all the game's enemies that gave you a hard time. You also get the Reverse multiplayer, which I haven't played yet, and I'm willing to bet it's crap. No multiplayer Resident Evil has been good. I suppose Outbreak was a bit. Visually, it's smashing looking. As I said, the facial animations look top, the detail in the environments is great and really adds to the atmosphere, and the lighting is still on top form like in 7. The sound design is also still banging, and the game knows how to use silence effectively as well. So yes, in the end I can recommend Resi 8. I do prefer the tighter, more claustrophobic Resi 7, but for some people I imagine the changes this game makes will make it the better title for them. And Lady Dominate Me's tits.
I'm such a mess, I'm lost, I'm no good at this. I'm in love, still in love, still in love with you. Hard as I try, I can't even drink this. this pain away. Memories of you, twisting my view. I've been a fool.